Also, U.S. Senator Jon Tester hosted an open house town hall meeting in Helena yesterday. TN's Mike Dennison was there and has our report.
At the Helena College campus, Senator Tester spent an hour taking questions from the audience, and the crisis at the southern border came up almost immediately.
There are children who are in camps and are hungry, and they're without their moms and dads, and they're desperately poor and hungry and filthy. What are you doing, and what are your staff doing about this?
Tester said more aid is needed for Central American countries, which are the source of many refugees at the border. But first, he wants more information from the Trump administration.
They assure us that they're moving the kids out and that the average stay is only like 2 weeks, 21 days, but I'm not sure I believe them. And so
they need to be with their parents.
Right. Oh, absolutely. They need to be reunited as a starting point. And because that's not what we're about as a country.
But when an audience member said open borders would solve the problem, Tester disagreed.
I just do not believe that. So that would be a totally different way to go that I would not support. I'll just tell you, I would not support that.
In response to a question about building needed infrastructure in the country, Tester said the Republican tax cut bill of 2017 has made it difficult to afford.
The truth is, the tax bill that we passed put us in a situation of structural imbalance that is not going to allow us to do things that we need to do, like make college more affordable, like build infrastructure. And by the way, those two things are what drives an economy in the 21st century.
And as for college affordability, Tester called it vitally important, but said Congress is doing next to nothing to address that issue or student debt.
You can't have kids coming out of school with $20, $30, $40, $50, $60,000 in debt. And by the way, the folks that are predators with the damn credit cards that are getting a hold of these kids and saying, go ahead and ring up the bill, pay me later, we ought to be putting those folks in jail.
Tester also bemoaned GOP control of the U.S. Senate, saying Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is keeping vital issues off the floor. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
By the way, Montana's congressional delegation is in the state this week while Congress takes its 4th of July break.